You know what it is. Provided to you by Bro Media. This is Bro Bets. And I'm Parlay Hunter.
And I'm lifeofdgreen, man.
And we got a very special guest in the building, a 49ers super fan. We got my man, Reece.
The chef. Chef, what we cooking up today, man? We ain't got no video out today or something, man? What's going on?
No, I got some things in the works, though. I got some stuff for y'all cooking.
All right, you want to give some shameless plugs to the legendary hoodie and that hat you got on? I know that's one of one.
This is just a Niners hoodie because keep it legendary. Niners hat, you know what it is, baby. Come on.
Bang bang Niner gang, huh? Look at it.
Gang, you know what it is, man. Come on.
Legendary. A lot of legends on the 49ers. Right now, who would you say is a legend that's on the 49ers?
Man, we got a couple. I mean, we got a couple guys that you can already pretty much put that gold jacket on them already. It's a little early for some, but for one, you for sure got Trent Williams. That's a gold jacket for sure. Fred Warner. I mean, if he keeps playing at the level that he's been playing at the last few years, that's a gold jacket for sure. And then another guy, I mean, he just had probably the best year of his career is Nick Bosa. And if he keeps going up, I mean, that's another one. That's a gold jacket for sure. Mm-hmm. And I mean, you could even really throw Deebo Samuel into the mix also. If he keeps balling and getting better, that's another guy.
So, man, we want to jump right into this. I ain't doing no holds bar. We going right into this real shop talk real quick, man. What's the word?
What's the hot seat today?
What's the word in this quarterback battle, man? What we talking? What's your opinion? How you see this?
Brock Purdy.
That's it? Just Brock Purdy?
You just said one line answer, Brock Purdy.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy because do we even know that he's the best quarterback on the team?
I'm not even allowed to go out the door that I live in, the town that I live in, saying Brock Purdy. I couldn't say that in the town that I live in. So I just letting you know.
Here's the thing. With Trey Lance, it's just, he got the worst luck that you could possibly have with his first couple games in the NFL. I mean, he plays his first game. It's a complete monsoon rain game. I mean, can you really count it? Hardly. Like, that's playing like backyard high school football. Second game, second, third play in, he snaps his ankle. I mean, what do you really do with that? So we don't really know what Trey Lance is yet, but just with what Brock Purdy did last year, it's kind of hard to argue not putting him as the starter week one and letting him kind of either continue what he was doing or lose the job himself through his play.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree or agree with you. Either or, it's a rhetorical question, but I'm saying, can we call Trey Lance a bust right now?
You gave up 3 first-round picks.
Absolutely not. You can't call Trey Lance a bust. But here's the thing. Was that trade worth it? Absolutely not. In hindsight, no way. If looking back on it, to have him just on the roster, would you make that trade again? If it's me running the front office, hell no. Absolutely not. That
sounds like some shade throw, man. Y'all the West Coast Patriots.
It's not shade, bro. It's not shade because I like Trey Lance and I want Trey Lance. If he wins the job and he balls out, then I'm happy, but just with what Brock Purdy showed and with how he went out last year, we obviously lost the NFC Championship, but I mean, did Brock Purdy lose the NFC Championship? No, because he was in for 2 plays. You know what I'm saying? So what would have happened? We don't really know. We'll never know. It is what it is, but you can't just cast him aside and be like, oh, well, you were the backup. You were the third string last year. I know you went undefeated pretty much, but you back to third string. Like, he led you to the NFC Championship in the most important, crucial. Because you guys know just as much as anybody that late football. You know what I'm saying? That last few weeks and that playoff football is the hardest time to play.
Yeah. It's the hardest time to play. You guys are stacked, right? I mean, everywhere in the field except for maybe that after Trent Williams, the next 4 guys on the O-line. That part, there's questions on that part. That's why you guys have so many injuries at quarterback. You guys are so stacked, but you guys do get hit with the injury bug quite often. And when you guys were, when that team was being, I don't know, I don't want to say the defense was carrying y'all, but like that defense did step up. And you know what I mean, especially in those games. So could anybody have been behind, throwing that thing? Because I wasn't like crazy impressed by Brock Purdy. I'd say like, yes, he didn't throw a lot of turnovers in the beginning. I mean, bro, I saw some things hit the dirt. Like, I wasn't like, oh my God, he should have not been Mr. Irrelevant. He's Mr. Irrelevant for a reason. And like, I just don't know if you can really put your Super Bowl hopes, your faith, because every year it's the same thing. It's like you guys got all the sprinkles, all the cherries, but y'all ain't got no ice cream in the sundae. There ain't no quarterback. Y'all do everything.
That boy parlay went full FA mode on your ass right there, boy.
I just get upset because we got so many upset fans in the Bay right now, and they can't. I mean, you guys got everything. You guys worry about everything. Everything's stacked. I mean,
I gotta agree with him a little bit because I don't want to keep using excuse. I don't want y'all to keep using excuses. A quarterback, man. Because we're going to get to this schedule. Bro, and we're going to get to that week 1 right there. We're going to get to
I know. Yeah, we're going to talk about that for sure.
We're going to talk about that for sure. No, but we're going to let you talk about this quarterback issue, man.
Here's the thing. With the quarterbacks, it's not that the quarterback hasn't been our issue, honestly, from us not winning a championship. I mean, if you go all the way back to 2019, when we were in the Super Bowl versus the Chiefs, it wasn't the quarterback. Yes, did Jimmy Garoppolo miss a big throw at the end of the game? Absolutely. But we were still up 2 scores with 6 minutes left, and that's poor clock management at the end of the day. That's all you can really chalk that up to. And honestly, and that goes on the head coach. That's on Kyle Shanahan, bro. That's not on the quarterback. That's not on the team. That's poor clock management. When you're just running the ball, getting 2 yards a clip, not, you know what I'm saying, not taking any chances. If you get 1 or 2 first downs, you can bleed that clock out and the game's over. You're a Super Bowl champion.
So my question is this, real quick, Parlay. You just brought up a great point because we praise Shanahan, we praise Lynch. I respect Lynch as a Hall of Famer. I think he's done a great job as a GM. Not a great job, but he's done a good enough job in my eyes to keep a foundation of a matriarch organization on that end. And so my thing is, if this was any other organization, Shanahan would have been going. I think so. That's just me, in my opinion, just because to me, I look at you guys as the West Coast Patriots, Steelers, these organizations that are blueprint of the league, that have won championships, that know what winning championships look like. And if you're not demanding, you think this would happen with Jerry Jones? I mean, I don't think.
Absolutely. Because here's the thing, bro. You got to think about it like this. You've had coaches in the league for, that have stuck around on a team for a lot longer than Shanahan, that have not won any playoff games, that have not even made it to the playoffs, that have, they get to the playoffs every year and then they lose first round. I mean, look at Marvin Lewis. He was the coach of the Bengals for 10 years and didn't win a playoff game. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're in and out of the NFC Championship game or the Super Bowl every other year, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? Where we didn't make the playoffs because our whole team got injured. You had Bosa, Solomon Thomas, Jimmy G, Raheem Mostert. They all went down in the same game, bro, in week 2. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things where we're always in the mix with Shanahan, and that's why I think he'll be the 49ers coach until they start to tank. I mean, unless he's not, like, if Shanahan is making the playoffs, there's no way he's going anywhere.
So scenario, you guys, quarterback's healthy, good play. Y'all get to either NFC Championship, divisional round. Y'all don't get to the Super Bowl. What is the review of the year? And then what is it? What's the conversation? I'm not wishing for your downfall. I'm just saying, what is the new question mark on the 49ers at the end of 2023?
I mean, it just depends, bro. I mean, it depends on how the game goes. I mean, you got to look at it too. It's like, we lost all those games in such heartbreaking fashion. I mean, going all the way back to it, like I said, you're blowing a double-digit lead with 6 minutes left. Like, that's crazy. Like, I'm sitting there on the couch thinking, like, I'm getting ready to celebrate. You know what I'm saying? And Patrick Mahomes does what Patrick Mahomes does, and the rest is history. But like, then you go to the next NFC Championship game. The drop pick against the fucking Rams, like. It's just one of those things where it's right in his hands. He picks it off. You win the game. That's it. See you later. And then, the way you lose the game is really the tell on like how that season feels at the end of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You need a quarterback to close out the game. Shanahan just went on record like today or yesterday after practice And I saw him have a video out about praising Jimmy Garoppolo, saying that he was the best 49er quarterback since Steve Young. And so I mean, you let him go. So he's not wrong. So
no, I mean, if you think about it, if you think about the quarterback play that the Niners have had since that time in the late 90s, I mean, it was Jeff Garcia, who's like, he was a good journeyman quarterback over the course of it. You had Troy Smith, you had Colin Kaepernick, who was a flash in the pan, because I mean, obviously, what happened was what happened. He got, blackballed out the league, but he only had really 1.5 years of good production. And after that, you got Brian Hoyer, you got Blaine Gabbert, you got, what I mean? All these guys who, like, it's like, come on, bro. Like, you really think that guy's going to be the face of the 49ers franchise?
Exactly.
And
so that's my point.
And like, if you think about it, bro, you got to think about what Jimmy Garoppolo did for the 49ers when he came to San Francisco. The 49ers were one of the worst teams in the league. I mean, literally, like, about to go 1-15 type team. And he takes them on a 6, 7, 8 game winning streak to close out the year and just, like, literally turn the whole franchise around. So it's like, what Jimmy Garoppolo did for the 49ers is, like, I mean, as a fan, like, it can never be forgotten, because, like, I sat there through all those dark years of us being horrible and, like, losing to teams that you're like, how did we lose to, these guys week in and week out getting blown out? Like, and then for all of a sudden a guy to come in and be like, yo, we got a quarterback, and he's slipping the ball. And, like, obviously he had his downfalls, and I think he got a bad rap for how much we started to run the ball. But you know what I mean? Like, Jimmy G, man, he, like, as a fan, what he did for the organization, like, in the culture of it, I definitely think was a good thing.
Well, now we got 2 49er fans on, man. I can't deal with
this. What up, Wyatt? All this. Let's go. I need some backup over here, baby.
Hey, his microphone. We got to get his microphone.
Hey, turn your mic on, Dwight.
What happened to my camera?
Yes, sir. What's happening? What's up?
Hey.
So we're going to bring you up to speed real quick, man. We just need some initial thoughts, man. How we feeling on the year, man? What it looking like?
I know a lot of 49ers fans not going to tell you this, man, but this is a transition year, man. This is when you really get to find out if your GM could do his job, man. All the guys that's really expensive now used to be cheap. You know what I'm saying? You got to transition the roster. We're going to see if he really put it together or if we just got a bunch of pieces and the coach has just been making them fit. You know what I mean? We got a great coach. He going to make it work no matter who's on the roster every season. But if the pieces that the GM decided to pay don't do their job this year, it's not going to be what everybody think it is. It could get ugly.
It could get ugly. Hey, I'm going to hold it down. You see what's behind me. I'm going to hold it down week 1 because we're going to really talk about that. But I want to let you share your piece about the quarterback room real quick.
You see what jersey I got on.
Okay. Wait. I just told him I live in his hometown. I can't walk. I'm right now in his hometown. I can't walk outside and talk about no Brock Purdy. So I need you to talk a little bit about that, man.
Listen, man, I'm a big believer in like when you put the time and effort into something, you got to see it through. You can't be investing 3 years worth of drafts in one player and then give up on him because another dude played well. Like, I watched Trey Lance as a starter, and I watched Brock Purdy as a starter. Kyle Shanahan's calling a completely different game for Brock Purdy than he is for Trey Lance. I never felt like he was calling the plays for Trey. He's calling for other. Like, he's handicapping. Like, I don't really trust this kid. I don't know what he can do. We running QB dive the first play of the game. When Brock Purdy in the game, it's all creative. Play action, misdirection, right, bootleg, left, people running wide open. Soon as Trey come in the game, he calling read option right, run up the gut. He getting him hurt. Hey,
Parlay, he sounded a little bit on some NFL equal modern day slavery over there, low key.
Hey, it looked like Robert Griffin and Kirk Cousins in Washington, if you ask me. Like, I don't want to play the running guy, so when he's in there, I'm calling bullshit. Soon as I bench him, here comes the super plays. Everybody's
I
running
need some
wide
glasses,
open.
man.
Oh, it's the coach. It's the coach. It's not the players. She wants all the credit or something, man. I don't know what's going. We got the most talent. Listen, when you got a top 5 talent, you got to see it through. You got to, because what Trey can be, Brock cannot be. Brock's giving the ball. He's giving the ball to 5 Pro Bowlers. If we keep him as the quarterback, we can only keep 2 of those guys. Everybody got to go.
Parlay, let him rock. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I do want to ask, how do you guys feel? All right, so we got these 3 quarterbacks. What happens if Sam Darnold? How much more confident are you in Trey Lance than Sam Darnold? How much more confident are you in Brock Purdy than Sam Darnold? What is like the scale? Because to me, they're all losers.
I mean, Sam Darnold was a top 5 quarterback, top 10 quarterback, wasn't he? What?
Yeah. The thing with Darnold versus Purdy, in my eyes, is that I just think that Purdy's been in the system, so he knows it better. And then he knows the team better. And I just think that he's won in bigger situations than Sam Darnold has even played in.
Okay.
So
way more confident than
in Purdy than over Darnold, yes. And
okay.
Purdy
where does Lance rank with Darnold?
Way ahead of Darnold.
Wow. Okay. You guys do be doing some weird things. You guys drafted a kicker in the 3rd round. Like, you guys be doing some weird.
Worst GM in the league.
We needed a kicker.
Worst GM in the league. Worst GM in the league. He has no understanding.
I'm telling you, man.
Dwight,
worst GM in the league.
Dwight, the head coach said Jimmy Garoppolo was the best quarterback since Steve Young. And then you guys let your priorities aren't to keep Jimmy Garoppolo. So
best 49ers quarterback since Steve Young.
He was, though. That's true. Yeah. Like, that's not true. The problem with this is the problem with the 49ers that people don't understand. If you can do the basic things at quarterback, you'll be very successful with Kyle Shanahan. Brock Purdy is very good at the basic. Garoppolo is good at the basic, bro. He can drop back. He can find the open receiver. He can make the pre-snap calls at the line of scrimmage. Like, the things you have to do to just be basic. He could check down to the running back. That's why Garoppolo looks good. That's why Brock Purdy looks good. Sam Darnold and Trey Lance, they're not that. They're exceptional talents. They're elite talents. Their arm, the way they play the game is completely different from those guys, but they struggle at the basic. That's a failure in coaching to me. Now, you can't coach these guys up on the basic things that make a quarterback successful so that they can do the elite things that win you Super Bowls. Because Patrick Mahomes doesn't win Super Bowls because he can check down to the wide receivers. He wins Super Bowls because he can scramble and make a play that should have been a loss or a throwaway into a touchdown.
So that's what I was saying earlier, Chef. I was telling the chef that I'm like, man, y'all got to catch 22. What if we got a healthy quarterback locker room this year? No other positions is hurt. Defense is excelling, but we don't get over the fence of the Super Bowl.
Trade Brock Purdy. That's what you do, man. You trade the guy that you can get 2 first-round picks for, make up what you lost in that Trey Lance trade, and let the young dudes go, man.
And I'm not mad at
a Super Bowl with a basic quarterback.
Go ahead, Chef.
If Lance can stay healthy and you can really get that type of trade value for a healthy Brock Purdy, then I'm with that. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm all about what's going to help the team long term. Like, I don't want it to be like a Ram situation where you buy a Super Bowl and then you're trash for the next 5 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's whatever's better long term for the team is what I'd rather them do. And I think that Brock Purdy going into the season, I mean, is probably the leader of the pack. Just in that clubhouse's mind, like in the coach's mind, I think Brock Purdy is going to start the season week 1.
For sure.
Why don't y'all trade somebody on your defense? You got a crazy front 7. Ooh. Like, I don't know. You guys got you got all these guys. You got all these D linemen. You got like crazy Greenlaw, kids.
I'm the one thing that I'm not sold on about the D line is the Javon Hargrave signing.
I didn't like that signing either.
I just felt like you could have given that deal to DeForest Buckner 3 years ago and had all in our pockets.
1,000%.
And then your O-line. And like your O-line, you guys have worries about the O-line because you let go of that right tackle.
I just worry about right tackle. That's the one thing. I like Spencer Burford, the right guard that we drafted last year. I think he came into his own sort of like middle to end of last season. I
For
think he was
sure.
really, really high level football. Center always been one of those plug and play positions. We've kind of rotated centers a lot over the years, and it's really been fine. So I'm not super concerned about our center position as long as he can mentally kind of get all those calls in is really our biggest thing with our center. And then it's just really right tackle. But McGlinchey was a liability in pass
He was
block.
terrible.
He was a good run blocker. He was
Good.
I'm not going to say great, but he was an exceptional run blocker. He was better than average, but he was a liability in pass pro. So if we can upgrade the pass protection and keep our quarterback clean on that right side, then I mean, I don't see why we couldn't have a better offensive line than last season.
So
I don't. Oh, go ahead.
no.
McGlinchey was really one of the worst first round picks we ever picked because he
I
looked
agree.
solid, but he was terrible in big games. He could not handle elite pass rushers in any way, shape, form. Every game, it seemed like we lost. That was a big game. He would just get dominated. Like he wasn't even. Like honestly, the O-line is the one thing I never worry about with Shanahan. I feel like we could trot out 5 undrafted guys and that guy will get it blocked up.
If you're mildly athletic, you can play offensive line in the front system. And then the fact that we have a Hall of Famer at left tackle who's coaching these guys up like crazy. I mean, if you see Trent Williams mic'd up in camp, the way he's coaching these guys, I mean, he's on them more than the actual O-line coach is.
All right. He's definitely earning his money.
Man, we're gonna get right to it, man. Hey, so we got enough time to speak about this. I'm on it. See what's behind me week 1. I'm gonna let y'all say y'all piece first because y'all guest on here. Because I know you're gonna you're gonna ride with your team. You got to. But I want to hear valid reasons why. First of all, week 1, then we're gonna go and just kind of talk about the whole overall schedule because the schedule ain't as before I got on with y'all. Me and Parlay was looking at the schedule and I was like, kind of cake, but no, it's kind of tough.
You guys got a tough schedule.
It's kind of tough. I mean,
And
it's gonna be some battles for sure.
Y'all are traveling the second most this year than any other team. Y'all got the most travel.
Yeah, but here's the thing with that. The one thing that I will say about Shanahan in this front office is when we do that, they do it the right way and they take the shit out so that they're not going East Coast, West Coast, East Coast, West Coast. They'll stay on the East Coast for a month. You know, and have all the accommodations. They'll bring their families out there, like everything. So it's like the way that they travel isn't so taxing on your body and on the mental because they plan for it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, agreed. That's one thing I can say that like as much as I don't like John Lynch as a general manager, he just makes terrible draft picks, terrible trades. They kind of never work out. If he didn't get lucky with Joey Bosa or Fred Warner being devalued because he's a middle linebacker, he's not drafting those guys. Like those guys fell to him. It was luck. But when it comes to the season and planning the season out, how to take care of your players, how to take care of the team, how to recover from injuries, like giving an honest assessment of where people at, I think the 49ers do a better job of any team in the NFL. We travel more than any team but Seattle normally. And the plans that they come up with are so innovative. It doesn't even matter if they work. It's just different. It's very you can tell they put a lot of thought into it. They don't care about the expense of how much it's going to cost the team. They let the fans and the players know very early, like, oh, we're staying out here for 2 weeks. Oh, we're going to plan this trip like this. Oh, this guy's not coming. They do a really good job of taking care of their players. So like throughout the season, the 49ers overcome a lot of obstacles that will crush most teams.
But I think you have to though, by the type of ball that y'all play, physical on both ends.
For sure.
You know, y'all defined by that. So you have to. So when we talk about this week 1 brawl, we the next number 1 physical team. I'm just gonna not state it. You come into Pittsburgh, it's not gonna be what you think. I'm gonna give you my reasons. Number 1, the last 2 years, we beat both teams that played in the AFC Championship week 1 healthy. Burrow last year. Before that, we beat the Bills with Josh Allen, Diggs, and all of them was healthy. It's something about Mike T firing up. Next to Shanahan, I won't disagree, but I've always thought I got the best coach in the NFL just from a motivational and getting his players ready to go every year, being consistent with being inconsistent because we haven't made the playoffs the last 3 years, but we never going to fall under the gun of 500 or we never going to come ready to play. Even if we not going to the playoffs, we still gonna play tough. So
I mean,
how y'all see that playing week 1?
I mean, no, you're right. I mean, Mike Tomlin, that alone is what ranks him as one of the greatest coaches of all time. He's never had a losing season. I mean, that's, it's ridiculous. And I agree. He plays a physical brand of football, and that's what we play. And it's going to be a war, but the X factor for y'all, I think, is the question marks that you still have on your offense. I mean, yeah, everybody looks great in camp. You know what I'm saying? You can go on any social media page across, the league, and you're going to find everybody looking like a stud in camp.
I don't know, but Brock Purdy threw a couple interceptions to the Raiders.
And I'm saying Kenny Pickett, George Pickens, these guys, like, what are they going to do? We don't know. We do not know. Kenny Pickett was okay last year. He was all right. He started to come into his own at the end of last year. George Pickens is cool. He made some big plays, but can they put it all together? Can they be that, that number one receiver and that quarterback combo that the Steelers have had for the last, 20 years since Big Ben came into the league, whether it was Plexico Burris or whether it was AB or whether it was whoever, you know what I mean?
Deontay.
Didn't even mention
36
Deontay or
years in the NFL.
Najee or
Right.
Yeah, I know. But that's what I'm saying is the way we're built on defense with the front seven that we have and the secondary that we have, really, we don't have too many holes. Y'all still got some question marks.
Hey, all I'm gonna say is this: we don't do this often on bro bets here. I don't run from nobody. I put 100 up with both of y'all too right now.
That bet is good. It's automatic. I ain't never turned down a fade with my
bet,
squad.
and that's a
I'll
bet.
take the bet
That's
with
a bet.
the third string
Both,
QB.
automatic.
I don't give a damn. That's
Live
my
on
boy.
bro bets, 100 straight up, no points, none
Straight
of that.
up. Yeah,
Both
none of that.
Say
I just
less.
did my
Yeah,
200
I like
on time. I don't want to be hawking niggas down like motherfucking
Oh, that's
Big
just
Turner and
come
Friday.
with me. Come
Hey,
with my
man,
cash.
don't
I don't
worry.
want Venmo. I don't want Cash App.
Yeah, hand it to me in my hand, man.
I want a
All right.
greenback. You know what I'm
I
saying?
need all my
Quincy
ones so I can go
Benjamin.
to Scarlett's after, man. Let me.
Oh,
You're
okay,
right.
yeah. I was just in Tootsie's last week. I could
All right,
definitely.
he was down in Tampa, huh? Miami, huh? Look at him.
I
But no,
want a
as we
Quincy
look at the
Benjamin.
rest of the schedule,
Yeah, let's get into it.
Wait. We can't move on without me talking about Mike T. This is very
go ahead,
important.
go ahead.
I'll
Already,
never miss the opportunity to discuss the greatest coach in NFL history.
For sure,
I've been
for sure.
around this game a long time, and I've never seen the consistency that Mike Tomlin puts forth. Now, Belichick, people think he's the greatest. He got all them rings, but you see what that man done without Tom Brady?
Yeah.
I done seen Mike T lose his quarterback week 2 or 3 playoffs. Don't matter. He tried out niggas that can't get a roster spot, and they winning game. He done started games with Josh Dobbs, Mason, playoff games.
Duck.
And they
I
barely
remember Duck.
Listen here, man. And this is another thing people ain't talking about. If TJ Watt playing, Pittsburgh top 3 defense in the league. It don't matter who else on the field. He like Joey Bosa. When he on the field, top 3.
And arguably, I'm gonna let y'all have that, bro. I'm gonna let y'all have y'all Joey Bosa conversation, bro. I'm taking TJ Watt over
Nick
But
anybody.
Nick, they all the same.
But TJ do a little bit different, bro. You can't
dominate.
Bro, TJ's impact, bro. I forgot what guy. I think it was Seattle. We played Seattle either 2 years ago or a year ago, bro. Hands down. If I'm gonna just say this as a Steeler fan. I'm gonna just say this as a Steeler fan. See, y'all got so many good players that you could be like, boom, 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 this guy. Because some games, Joey Bosa ain't as impactful as Fred Warner. Some games, Joey Bosa is Joey Bosa. Some game is Debo. Some games, Debo don't even get in the end zone, and y'all still win. But if AB play and TJ Watt play, I'm calling it. Game is over, bro. Bottom line, TJ Watt made that impact. That first, bro, he had 3 sacks on Burrow last year in the first game.
Yeah,
and the
he was
pick. If you remember, he went up and got that motherfucker.
Hey, listen, man. TJ, I ain't got nothing to
And
do.
is it different? Hey, no offense.
Pickett got to take a step.
Because TJ
Offensively, the Steelers draft picks recently, I can't name one of them that panned out. Pickens made some spectacular.
The boy from the Bay Area though, Najee's gonna have his best year.
A bum.
Najee's gonna have his best year because our offensive line is better. I can't put that on Najee. I cannot.
He got to earn it. You can't give him no credit no more. He got to earn it. I agree. The offensive line been trashed 7 years. Doesn't matter. Le'Veon was playing behind one of the worst O lines in the league.
I wouldn't say that because we had Pouncey. We had
No, they were bums. I watched the games. He was
Pouncey
getting hit
was
in the
Pouncey,
backfield every day.
Pouncey Hall of Famer. Pouncey Hall of Famer.
Pouncey elite, but the rest of that team, come on, man. Villanueva, nobody even heard that dude. He was an Army dude. He was a bum. He played well because Ben is getting the ball out in 0.2 seconds, and Le'Veon is trick juking in the backfield 3 dudes.
Even when the
Now
Steelers
he got to show it on the field. The talent is there, but
I think he's gonna have his best year yet. Najee,
I don't believe in nothing but stats.
Yeah,
talent don't mean nothing, man. If you ain't going out on that field produce, he's been in the league 2 years. He's done nothing.
I think our receiver room has ability to be good. I think our tight end
Claypool
underrated.
go. That was a bad move.
Our tight end room is underrated. Freiermuth is gonna show that he's an elite tight end this year.
Great coach, though. Great coach.
Here's the thing with this game, week 1. The absolute X factor and the determinant of whether y'all are going to win or lose that game is number 90. And if we can't block him, then there's a good chance.
Oh yeah, because we gonna mix
they're gonna line him up against our right side.
They gonna line him up on Trey
I'm telling you this right now.
Side.
If we block TJ Watt, which all that means is just George Kittle ain't gonna have a big game, which is fine because he oftentimes don't.
Yeah, he don't.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. We could really make it a long afternoon for y'all.
Yeah, but we also got the best safety in the league too back there too. So if you want to try some bullshit,
he may not be the best, but he's definitely elite. Minka's solid.
Yeah,
listen, man. It's all about Shanahan this week 1 for me. I've watched Shanahan game plan terribly against elite pass rushers. Whatever the fuck he was doing against Arizona was literally the worst thing I've ever seen a coach do in a playoff game. He just said, forget it, Hassan Riddick, those numbers are fake. You can do whatever you want. We're not even going to try to block you with 2 guys. We're not going to send a chip. We're not going to put a tight end over there. You can just go one-on-one with this bum of Lynch. He's going to be a free agent and kill him. And that's pretty much what happened.
I respect that though, because that's why you don't never know what it's going to be like week 1. Week 1, I never know, but it's for me, week 1, now having the history of my team, I know we're going to come ready to play. Y'all usually have a team. Y'all usually, if y'all not the Sunday night game on week 1, y'all usually have an easy game.
We be having those letdown games week 1. How did we lose to Chicago last year?
They couldn't
get a first down. They couldn't even get a first down in the first half. Then all of a sudden, you give up these 3 easy touchdowns, and now we lost because we can't get a first down in the rain. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. You got to do better than that.
All right, so okay. I just want to get some predictions. The over-under is 40.5. The spread is 49ers -3. Where are we going with this?
They definitely don't want to give me the points. I'll go 500 with the points. Shit. Give me 3. Give me 3. And give me 3. I'll put 500 with both of them. That's a whole cage. Shit.
I just want everybody to know this first game of the season going to be one of the worst losses of Mike T's career. Man, I hate to say it, man. It's going to be one of the worst losses of his career. They're not going to be prepared for what's coming.
Hey, Hillemeyer, you know where the game at, Parlay? You know where the game at. It's never going down, bro. I'm telling you.
We're about to put the league on notice week 1. The whole league is on notice.
Coming into the season, we've never had a team looking like this. There's always been question marks. There's always been guys coming up with injuries.
Hey, Barn, both of us stay healthy.
What's up?
Both of us stay healthy during camp.
Reece, you got money line or you got the spread?
No, we bet money line. We bet with both of them money line.
I just want the stats for the show.
Okay, all right, go ahead. My bad, Parlay. My bad. Reece, what you got?
Money line or spread? -3.
Don't disrespect. Because it's only 3. Hey, it's only 3.
I really think if all it takes, and it's gonna be he might get 1. TJ Watt might get 1, but if we're chipping TJ Watt, if we got Kittle in there, who is literally the best blocking tight end in the history of the game,
saying defensive turnover,
helping whoever's playing right tackle for us, block TJ Watt, bro, it's gonna get ugly for y'all.
It is.
Do not have the back end of the defense other than Minkah Fitzpatrick to run. It's gonna be a track meet.
Man, the weapons, bro.
You guys are a vertical passing game. Y'all do a lot of this. Y'all
Exactly. And Debo, Ayuk, and McCaffrey.
We just got
corners in
adding Quan Alexander gonna matter for us at some point of the year.
Bro, we know Quan. We got rid of Quan Alexander for a fucking reason, bro.
We got rid of Quan. He played some good ball for y'all.
I got rid of Quan for a reason, dog.
Hey, listen, man. Quan Alexander's amazing when he's on the field. I got $5 say he don't play week 4.
Yeah, when he's on the field, you guys got a lot of injury problems. Even right now, you guys got a lot of injury problems. Yeah. Ray McLeod just broke his wrist.
Yeah, he don't. He's a non-factor. We happy he hurt. He shouldn't even be on the
Yeah, we
roster. I'm
gave
gonna be
y'all
real.
him. We gave y'all Ray Ray.
No, listen. If he has a roster spot, that's an indictment on. That's
we don't
an
need to
indictment. Hold on. If he got a roster spot, that's an indictment on John Lynch's inability to draft. What do we draft Danny Green in the 3rd round for if he's not playing this year? Like what? This is what I'm talking about this. You have to be a better drafter. You draft a receiver in the 3rd round, year 2, he should at least be in the slot or a kick returner. He's not like 4th or 5th on the depth chart. It's unacceptable, bro. It's unacceptable. McLeod shouldn't even be on the roster. He was a rental. That was a 1 year. Oh, we got a hole. Let's fix it. And then Danny Green, you should be playing.
Ray
We not
McLeod
players,
got some
man.
strays today.
It's Danny Gray season.
Hey man, I want to talk about the forecast.
Ray McLeod is a good kick returner, but it's Danny Gray season.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's Danny Gray season.
Oh, it is. And here's the thing, bro. Danny Gray's our 4th receiver.
Right.
Juwan Jennings is our 3. He is our slot guy, and he's a man beater. Like
he gets it done. He gets it done against man coverage.
They call him 3rd and Juwan for a reason.
I did not think we were going to be talking about Danny Gray.
So yeah, I didn't either. Let's get this forecast. Y'all taking y'all already week 1. I know that. Y'all got Rams next game. Y'all got that one.
Oh,
easy, man.
Giants
is not a dub, bro. Giants, I got the
Giants coming to y'all week 3.
Thursday night.
That's not an easy dub. That's not an easy dub.
Let's be clear. Nobody comes in and bully us. The Giants are learning how to be bullies. We bully bullies already. They're gonna come in and get bullied.
Yo.
Okay. But the schedule, Dre, I just want to say, unless you want to go through all these games, it really gets
This is
hard.
a quick take, just a real quick answer. That's all I'm saying. Real quick take of what y'all see.
All right, so Giants dub.
Cardinals dub. Cowboys week 5. How y'all feeling? Dub again. Browns. So y'all gonna start one.
This is a tough one. This is a tough game because we have trouble with mobile quarterbacks, and if Deshaun Watson is healthy, then I think we could struggle with this game, especially with Nick Chubb running the ball. So if they have something going on with both Nick Chubb and Deshaun Watson running the football, I think we struggle a little bit, and I think we could drop that game.
Okay, so we'll get at an L. The first L
this
comes
next game, Dre. This next game I got circled because I think this game, if you guys are like 500, this game I think is big right here with Minnesota because if you guys are right around 500 and you guys lose to Minnesota, the season's going in the wrong direction.
I think we win this game by 3 scores.
Okay.
Jeez.
The Vikings. Yeah. I don't honestly. This is the part of our schedule. This is the part of our schedule where I feel like no matter how our season is going, we're going to turn it around. After that Bengals game, the 49ers are going to go on a. I don't think we lose more than one game before the
Jacksonville ain't going to be easy work. Calvin really already going to win. Come back.
Oh, that's when we get into the ball. That's when we get into the nitty gritty of our schedule. So that's
what I'm saying. Listen, week
12 is tough. Y'all got Seattle in a span of 3 weeks. Starting week 12, you got Seattle on the road on week 12. Then you go to Philly, and then you got Seattle at home. That's going to be a tough stretch after week 12. Do you think you're going to sweep Seattle?
For sure. I think Seattle's no problem for us. I don't feel threatened by teams with mediocre quarterbacks. To beat the 49ers, you have to have a mobile quarterback who can pass and an elite O-line. All these teams like Jacksonville, why would I worry about? They got one of the worst O-lines in the league. It doesn't matter if their skill guys are great. We dominate mediocre
D-line is good, though. And the D-line is good.
Their D-line, no, I agree. Their defense can be good. Our offense scores on everybody. We put up numbers on anybody. Like, I'm not worried about any defense in the league. Our system works. You have to be able to block us. If your O-line can't, the Bengals, they can't block. Like, Joe Burrow is going to get murdered. We destroy quarterbacks who O-lines can't block. And we're going to shut the run down.
My question is this, though. If y'all don't take any bulk of L's that y'all might take in the middle point, that back end of the schedule ain't looking just guaranteed.
I don't know how I feel about
games I circle is Washington late, Ravens late, Seahawks again late, and then that Eagles game right in that middle point right after Thanksgiving. Like that's gonna be that right after that Thanksgiving is gonna be some time where it's like, but y'all do play great championship ball in November. We know that. But I'm just saying the games that look tricky to me are those right there.
I'm not fazed by the Washington game. The Ravens game, yes. The Seahawks, just because if it is that late one at Seattle,
That's at home.
No, it's at home.
Okay, then I'm not worried about it. And then the Philly game, yeah, because it's a mobile quarterback that can pass. I mean, Jalen Hurts is, a top 2 player in the whole NFL. So I mean, like, yeah, obviously that game is going to be a tough one for us regardless, but I think we can still win that game for sure, and I'm confident that we will win the game.
So what we saying?
Especially after last year. I mean, our team going into this game is going to be pissed off after last year, and with all the shit that's been talked over the summer, bro, like more so than Dallas. Like, see, here's the thing is like with the 49ers this year is we're rivals with a few teams right now, but there's a lot of teams that are rivals with us, if that makes sense. Like Dallas looks at us as a rival. We look at Dallas as little bro. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
Philly as a rival right now because they got us. We look at LA right now as a rival because they got us. They beat us to go to the Super Bowl. They got the championship on us. Like that's a rival to us. You know what I'm saying? Like there's only a select few teams who we got really circled, and that Philly game is probably circled in red. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. I would also say, like, this is something that doesn't affect us as much as it affects other teams because we've proven over the last couple of years that the way we start isn't how we're going to finish no matter what condition our roster is in.
Facts. We started slow the last
teams at the end of our roster are all teams whose season is on a teeter-totter. So you look at the Cardinals, they could be playing for the first pick. Like by the time Kyler Murray plays, their season might already be
I'm gonna
over.
disrespect all of the Cardinals except for the defensive side. That's all I'm going to just.
No, I get it. I'm just saying in general. It's the Seahawks. The Seahawks kind of made a small bet on Geno. They didn't go all in. Oh, Geno's the guy. Their season could be over too, and we played them twice late. If they're under
why so much
Geno?
Why so much Geno disrespect? He proved himself.
No, he didn't. How you can't prove yourself in 1 year in the NFL? That never happens. Carson Wentz almost won an MVP. He's out of the league. It's not how the NFL works. You have to be consistent. What Geno proved was at the Jets, he couldn't get it done for 5 years. So one solid season under a coach who has always made his quarterbacks play better. You saw what Russell Wilson looked like without Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll has won with Matt Flynn. It doesn't matter who's been at quarterback. That team plays exactly the same way every week. It's not about the quarterback. So you talking about the Rams season could be over already by the time we play them late. All these teams could be playing backup third. Look who were they playing at quarterback last year?
All I'm saying is the back end of that schedule, you don't want to risk injury and then seeding. That's all I'm saying.
Never how.
And that's what I mean. I love the way our schedule lines up for the playoffs. If I look at our schedule from an honest point of view, the only team in our last 8 games that I think is a playoff team is the Eagles. Every other team is either terrible or borderline. The Jaguars are a borderline playoff team.
We don't
Seahawks
know.
are a borderline playoff team. The rest of those teams ain't. The Commanders ain't a playoff team. The Ravens, I agree that the Ravens is going to be tough no matter what. But who knows if Lamar's playing? Lamar hasn't played in week 15 in the last 3 seasons. So.
And here's the thing, and on paper, Baltimore is the 3rd best team in that division. Maybe even 4th on paper.
Yeah, in real life.
So that's what I'm saying. I think the way that our schedule lines up is lining up for us to start off the season probably somewhere like 5-3 or somewhere in there, and then just go on a run late where we only lose 1. Maybe
so y'all to start fast. Is that something y'all gear to, or it don't matter?
I think we're going to start 2-0. We're at least starting 2-0 for sure. And then here's the thing, bro. It's the NFL. You know how it is. Like any given Sunday, like you can drop it. You could drop a game to the worst team in the league just off some bullshit, like just because it's just the way it happens. It's the way it plays out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
Like,
what's the overall forecast? What we saying? 14-3.
That's pushing it.
Yeah, I'd say 13-4.
Yeah, that's a much better. I don't think we're gonna win more than 13 games. I think we lay eggs. I've watched the 49ers lay eggs.
That's the other thing too, is we are gonna have some growing pains at quarterback because whether it's Trey Lance or whether it's Brock Purdy, these guys are gonna be very, very green in the sense of like they're not gonna have seen everything. You know what I mean? No, Jimmy G, he's been before he got to us, he'd been in an NFL film room and playing NFL games for 4 years. Yeah. You know what I mean?
So what this is, Super Bowl or bust, or what we saying?
Nah. I mean, every year for us, I feel like is got those Super Bowl expectations, but no, because we have a team that's built to last. Hold on one second.
No, I agree. No, I agree. We definitely have a team that's built to last. I think this year is the year we decide who we're going to be going forward.
Yeah,
I
without
think
a
for the
doubt.
whole Shanahan era, we
Well,
have
that's
been developed this year when we decide who's going to be our quarterback long term. When we decide if we keep an AU, when we decide how long McCaffrey's going to be in town, how much of a pay cut he's going to. Like, this is the year where we really are becoming who the 49ers are going to be through the Kyle Shanahan era.
Well, yeah, and I mean, and to go off that, Shanahan has talked a lot of shit over the years, especially since we drafted Trey Lance, about having a guy that can, run it like Vic and throw it like Breeze. And so if he uses Trey Lance the right way, I mean, he could be one of the most lethal quarterbacks in the league, bro. I mean, like he could have like a Lamar Jackson type impact, even better, because he's honestly, I think he's a better pure thrower of the football than Lamar is.
Mhm.
I think Lamar's had to work at it a little bit more. But it's like we were talking about earlier. If he doesn't use him the right way, if he does the foolish shit that got Trey Lance hurt last season, then it don't even matter whether he
Right.
And then, but even if that's the case, though, I still believe that we can go deep into the playoffs again with Purdy or with fucking Darnold. Even like, I really believe that if it came down to it, Darnold could
lead us to a Super Bowl. I believe he could lead us to a Super Bowl. He has the talent, and he's in the right
about it, man. We beat the Eagles last year, like with what happened, we were about to sign Phillip Rivers to play in the Super Bowl, and we would have won too.
I think y'all signing Phillip Rivers would have changed that. Yeah, if y'all would have made it, y'all would have won.
See, this is what I'm talking about a failure. This is what I mean by a failure at the GM position.
After you had the chance to do it. Yeah.
After all our players did, bro, you went into a playoff game with Josh Johnson as a backup quarterback. That's very disrespectful to any fan. The fact that he got put into the game shows you how much of a bum John Lynch is. You can't tell me that kid was in practice completing passes. He looked terrible. He looked terrible. I've never seen him complete a pass in my life. He's been in the league 11 years.
I'll take Rivers throwing passes to his high school receivers than Josh off the couch.
Right. I don't even like that's what I'm saying. When you get to the point where you're in the playoffs and you win a playoff game, you haven't brought Phillip Rivers in yet. Like you don't even have to come to meetings, just show up to the games in case Brock Purdy get hurt. I don't even get it. Josh Johnson. Yeah.
I've
never seen him complete a pass in a preseason game.
Well, I've never been a part of, like, as a fan, watching the game like that in my life. Like, I mean, that was like
the worst display of football I've ever seen in my life.
So it's a self-sabotage then is what I'm saying. I'm just trying to see if you're agreeing, Chef, with Dwight, that John Lynch may have to go, if he continues to make these bonehead mistakes. Like,
something has to change.
I don't think we're there yet to where it's fire John Lynch.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
We've had too much success.
But eventually that's going to run out where all 49er fans are going to be happy about that. And you're going to have to point the needle at something, man.
I think that we overachieve too much for people to notice John Lynch's failures.
Right.
We're never expected to be where we're at the end of the year. Therefore, you can't fire the GM. But he's the problem.
Like, we've had too much success for either one of them to go. So for that to happen, whether it be Shanahan or Lynch, we would have to absolutely tank for multiple years. Because if you go back and look at 2020, everybody thought we were going to be right back in it, and we won what? We were back in the top 3 drafting again. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, it's just it's one of those things where the season can go any which way, and that's the crazy part about the NFL is, like, you just never really know. A team can go from worst to first or first to worst, just like, overnight pretty much. And it is what it is. So, like, we can say whatever we want, but at the end of the day, they're going to have to get out there and play.
Okay, so the future of the 49ers, let's say you guys don't win the Super Bowl this year, is every like, because, like, if it's the same thing happens this year that happened last year, do we have to make a drastic change with the head coach, with Lynch? Like, when does the change come? When do you guys, will you draft another quarterback? Will you?
I don't think. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I don't think the change is going to come from within the front office. I think they're going to keep changing the roster until they feel like they have a team that they can, win a Super Bowl with, which I think they feel like they have every year. But if you think about it, that's what it's always been. Like, we've been getting rid of key pieces, not like to the level, like to where like the Patriots do it. Like, the Patriots, as soon as anybody comes up for a contract, they basically cut them or let them walk. But like, we've been getting rid of key pieces each season since Shanahan has been around. I mean, when he first got there, they gutted the team. They completely gutted that roster and rebuilt it. And so like I said, as long as we're a contender, I don't think either one of them are going anywhere. It's going to be players. And I don't think necessarily anybody's safe either with just how it's gone. I mean, DeForest Buckner was a cornerstone of our franchise for
best player on the damn team.
Yeah, he was the cornerstone of our franchise since he had been there. And, you pair him up with this Eric Armstead, who's finally coming into his own. And, those two guys been playing together their entire lives pretty much. Like, nobody's safe from a player standpoint. So, like, I thought we were going to let Debo walk last year. I honestly thought that we were going to get a deal done with Debo Samuel, but then we did. And I still don't think he's safe to be traded. If in a couple years, you know what I'm saying?
On that note, Joey Bosa or Nick Bosa don't got a contract.
I know.
How are we playing preseason games and our best player isn't even under contract? It just it's unacceptable and under. And then you know what the worst part is? After him holding out for 2 months, they're gonna make him the highest paid player in NFL history. It's the dumbest thing.
He's not been at camp.
Why is he holding out?
He's not been at camp.
No, he hasn't. He's there. He's just not practicing. He's holding out until he gets a contract.
I didn't know that.
Come on, bro. And we're weeks in. Like, what are you doing, John Lynch, that our best player is not practicing? Yeah. And we done got 2 defensive linemen hurt.
But
that's playing more reps than
that's some weird shit right there by John Lynch. Because in the same sentence, he would say, if he really was inside, if he using an excuse, he trying to protect him from not getting injured probably too. That's some shit I can see him saying right there. By not paying him, so he knew that he had to held out because he's not participating in practice.
They already said, because they were talking about it the other day, that he's racking up, I think it was $50,000 a day in fines that he's not practicing, and they already said that it's going to be part of his contract will be like fine forgiveness or something like that. So not paying those fines.
Collective bargaining agreement. Though.
Here's the thing: they know with Nick Bosa, as long as he is motivated and in shape, it doesn't matter whether he's at practice or not. You know what I'm saying? He's one of those guys that he's just gonna come ready, basically.
I'm a firm believer in the work of elite players makes other people better. Right now, the leader in our D-line room is a dude who took some years to give. I don't know if Hargrave or Armstead is leading the D-line room right now. And honestly, it matters to me because I know if Bosa's at practice, then Drake is getting better. I know if Bosa's at practice, then Eric is working hard.
And I agree with you from that standpoint, from like the benefit of the team. But I'm saying for Nick Bosa personally, he's going to show up and he's going to be ready. But yes, 100%. Like, Drake Jackson needs Nick Bosa in camp.
Oh my goodness.
But the one thing I will say is all these reps against Trent Williams that Nick Bosa would be taking, Drake Jackson is probably now.
Well, that's Cleveland Farrell. Cleveland Farrell is probably going to take a step this year too. I agree with that.
True. Yeah, I mean, and I like the depth that we have across the D-line too. And I think that's a big part of our future is that we do have a lot of depth and we got a lot of young players on our defense. I mean, you got to think about it. Our oldest player is Eric Armstead, and he's what, 31, something like that.
Yeah. Defense is nice.
Yeah, we're young on defense. We just turned over our whole linebacker room, basically, other than Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw. So we got young backers, we got young secondary. I mean, like we're very, very set up to be good for the foreseeable future, I feel like.
Right. You guys always are. You guys are always like for a long time, you guys are always set up to lose in the playoffs.
I agree. I agree. You know why? Because you win in the playoffs with superstars, and the only position we don't have a superstar is quarterback.
Yep.
And we keep losing Super Bowls because of our quarterback, and that's what you can't do as an organization. You can't lose Super Bowls because of your quarterback. That's the one position that can't be the reason you don't win the Super Bowl. If that's the case, your GM needs to be fired.
Yeah.
So what's the final words on the state of the 49ers, man, as we wrap this thing up, man?
I'm confident, man. I'm very confident in what we can do this season. I think it's going to be a good season. I think it's going to be a fun season for us. I think there's going to be a lot of ups. I think there's definitely going to be some downs, but I definitely think that when it comes down to it, we're going to be one of those final four teams standing, I feel like, though. And when it comes down to it, I think we're going to be right there in that NFC Championship. Especially if we mess around and get home field advantage, I mean, Super Bowl for sure. If we mess around and get home field advantage, we are going to the Super Bowl.
Okay. I believe it. State of the Niners for me is if you asked anybody to pick the best roster in the NFL without a quarterback, everybody would pick the 49ers. I don't even think it's close. I think the only team that even remotely has a roster resembling what the 49ers have put together is the Eagles. So if you ask me, I don't think anything prevents the 49ers from making it to at least the NFC Championship game. I think that is their floor for this season. The ceiling is untapped because we don't know what the quarterback position is going to provide. Brock Purdy could get injured in week 2, and Trey Lance could go on and have an MVP type season in Shanahan's system with the players around him, with the system around him, with the roster around him. So for me, I'm just hoping we make it through the season with as little injuries as possible, and excited for what the playoffs hold and what our quarterbacks can do.
Parlay, you got something to say, man?
Yeah, that's beautiful. I think you guys are going 7-10. There's going to be some firings at the end of the season. I see some turbulence along the way, midway through the season.
Because I was going to tell them too, Parlay, you can't get to the floor or the Final Four without getting to week 1. So that's where I'm going to leave it at. I'm going to stay on that until we get.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be the nail in the coffin. Is going to be, why didn't we just figure out the quarterback problem instead of having 3 quarterbacks? They said we shouldn't have 2 quarterbacks, but we decided to have 3 quarterbacks and just have a whole bunch of shit on our hands. I mean, I hope Debo's in shape, and, I hope you guys can, just create some bright futures for some young men.
You said Debo looks like the Zion James Harden type of action figure, like coming into camp looking fat.
But he does have those issues, you know what I mean? Like, you guys.
I was thinking the same thing.
I think Dwight said
it on the Rockets,
Dwight said it's all self-inflicted, and that's a life lesson that we can all relate to. It's self-inflicted pain, and that's the story of the 49ers in 2023. And 2022 and 2021 and 2020 and 2019. It's all.
I mean, all I'm going to say is it's been a long time since I seen my favorite coach, Mike T, in the playoffs.
It's been 3 years.
Man, in Mike Tomlin's world, that's the eternity. That's
You'll see the playoffs. You'll see the playoffs this year. But
I don't think
you'll find out.
In the division.
See the thing about us. See the thing about us, different than even y'all being successful. We don't worry about getting to the NFC. We just worry one game at a time. That's it.
I believe it, but y'all have the worst quarterback in your division. That usually means you're not making the playoffs. Worst quarterback in the division.
On paper right now. Yeah.
Not on paper. What do you mean Lamar's the MVP candidate? We've seen what Deshaun Watson has done in the league, and Joe Burrow's been to a couple Super Bowls almost. So your boy is the worst quarterback in the division.
None of them got Super Bowls, or none of them teams outside the Ravens been good in the last 10 years like we have.
Have your boy ever won an NFL game? Because he plays with gloves on in the summertime.
Has he won an NFL game?
Who?
Kenny Pickett? He won 5 out of the last 7 NFL games he had. See, I'm gonna be real. Yeah, it wasn't all bad. But it wasn't all good. It wasn't all bad.
Games, man. He was winning games passing for 113 yards on 22 attempts. You gotta stop.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you right now, if you could take any 3 of our quarterbacks that we got in our room or Kenny Pickett, I'm taking any one of our 3.
Every one of them, without question.
Parlay, wrap this shit up, man. I'm done with these dudes.
Listen, bro, I'm not gonna let you sit here.
Hey, Parlay, wrap this shit up, man.
A lot of mediocre shit, a lot of straight.
Because the next time I get on here after week 1, I want to be having my money in my hands.
All right, set it up. Sorry, I'll come on here as soon as the final
whistle.
We
could do that.
Sir, run it immediately. Hey, man,
Najee get you a terrible tell all that. We could do all that.
Hey, that's a whole all that.
I ain't running from nobody. I take the same stance as my team. We don't run from nobody.
Okay. We will have a venting session after that week 1.
Yeah, therapeutic for them.
Hard
You
head
like
make
the
a
ice
soft
up,
ass.
Illamar?
Hard head make a
We'll
soft
see.
ass.
We
Hey.
will see.
Therapeutic session for them. Get the pillows, like DJ Khaled said. Get the nice little couch so they can therapeutic. Not me. I'm
gonna be
good.
real. I feel like our backup quarterback is gonna play the whole fourth quarter because shit gonna be over.
Illamar, hey, I'm getting off here, bro. I'm gone.
Okay, well, shout out. We want to shout out Ray McLeod. Just there's no
Get well, Ray.
no disrespect. Get well. Want to thank our guests, Reece and Dwight, the 49er super fans, for being here today. This is a Bro Media production here at Bro Bets. Thank you. I'm Parlay Hunter.
Life of D Green, man.
Hey, peace.